Is Nicolandria actually real, or is this the biggest performance in Love Island history? Because what happened behind the scenes is absolutely wild, and the truth might shock you. From day one connections to controversial exits and a relationship that has the internet completely divided, this is the story nobody expected. We're talking about ace moments, Taylor drama, Cierra controversy, and a love story that literally broke the internet. This is everything you need to know about Love Island USA Season 7's most talked about couple. But before we dive into this chaos, do me a solid and smash that subscribe button. I promise the algorithm will be nicer to you than Love Island was to these two. Plus, you'll never miss the tea when it's piping on.
Let's rewind to where it all started, because this connection was noticed by literally everyone except the two people who needed to see it. Night 1 in the Love Island villa, and Olandria Carthen walks in. She's a 27-year-old elevator and escalator professional from Alabama, and she's got her eyes on two guys. One of them is Nick Vansteenberghe, a 24-year-old registered nurse from Florida. During that first coupling, Olandria actually kissed both Nick and Taylor before choosing Taylor because, and I'm not making this up, she liked that he was an Oklahoma cowboy. Already you can see where this is heading. But here's where it gets interesting. Later that same night, there's a blindfolded kissing challenge. Nick chooses to kiss Olandria. And guess who Olandria picks? Nick and this other guy, Ace, but let's forget about Ace for a second. The chemistry was there from literally day one. Fans watching at home were going absolutely crazy, creating TikTok edits and calling themselves Nicolandria Nation before these two even realized what they had. But instead of exploring that connection, they both went completely different directions.
Olandria stayed loyal to Taylor, and I mean loyal. She was in it for the long haul with this slow burn romance that had viewers scratching their heads. Because here's the thing that nobody talks about. Taylor's connection with Olandria looked good on paper, but something felt off. Fans started questioning whether he was actually physically attracted to her, and the way the show edited their relationship didn't help matters. What viewers didn't see was Taylor bringing her coffee every morning, remembering everyone's breakfast orders, and being this genuinely sweet guy who made sure Olandria felt cared for. He even wiped another contestant's tears with his own shirt during a tense moment. The dude was thoughtful. But Olandria later admitted something huge. She said if she had known from the beginning that Taylor wasn't physically attracted to her, she wouldn't have gone so hard for him. Nobody wants to force someone to be attracted to them, and that's fair. The editing made it seem like this perfect, slow-burn romance, but behind the scenes, there were questions Olandria didn't have answers to. Meanwhile, Taylor was being Taylor, cooking for her constantly, making sure she had his jacket when she was cold, doing all the right things. But was the spark really there? That's the question that haunted their entire connection.
While Olandria was figuring out the Taylor situation, Nick was on his own journey. He coupled up with a girl named Belle A first, but then bombshell Cierra Ortega walked in and everything changed. The connection between Nick and Cierra was immediate and intense. They coupled up in episode 6 and became one of the strongest pairs in the village, like genuinely strong. They were vibing, they were consistent, and eventually they even closed off their relationship, meaning neither would explore other connections. To everyone watching, including Nick himself, this looked like the real deal. They were making it to the end, no question. But Love Island has a way of completely flipping the script when you least expect it. Enter Casa Amore, the part of the show where couples are split up and tested with a whole new group of people. This is where dreams go to perish and chaos reigns supreme. Both Nick and Olandria were trying to find connections with the Casa Amore bombshells, but after just 24 hours, both of them ended up single. Olandria had been talking to this guy, Zach. Nick showed some interest in someone named Jaden, but neither connection stuck. And then production dropped the most insane twist of the entire season. Both Nick and Olandria were told to pack their bags. They were being dumped from the island on the same night, and neither of them knew the other was also getting eliminated. Nick's walking away from the villa with his suitcase, probably thinking his Love Island journey is over, when suddenly a car pulls up. The door opens, and sitting inside is Olandria. The producers gave them a choice. They could either leave the island single and go home, or they could couple up and return to the villa together. This wasn't just a twist, this was production basically screaming at them that America wanted them together. They went on a private date, where Nick finally admitted he'd been attracted to Olandria from the very beginning. Olandria, who's usually a slow burner, came completely out of her shell. They were smiling, giggling, blushing, acting like two people who'd been waiting for this moment without even realizing it. And then came the kiss. The soul ties kiss that literally broke the internet. This wasn't some quick peck during a challenge. This was a real, passionate, we've been waiting for this kind of kiss. Nicolandria fans lost their minds. TikTok exploded. Everyone thought this was finally it.
But here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. The next day, Olandria told Nick she didn't feel anything romantic. She still had her mind on Taylor, and being back in the villa with him didn't help. Millions of viewers groaned in frustration. They just watched the best kiss of the season, and now we're being told there's no spark? Nick and Olandria decided to stay friends and pursue their original connections when they got back. Nick reunited with Cierra in this genuinely emotional moment, complete with a fake-out where he thought he was eliminated. They got back together, closed off the relationship again, and everything seemed back on track. And then everything fell apart in the worst way possible. 1 week before the finale, Cierra was suddenly removed from the villa. The show's narrator simply said she left due to a personal situation, but fans knew exactly what happened. Old social media posts resurfaced showing Cierra using offensive language, specifically targeting the Asian community. This wasn't a one-time thing either. There were posts from 2015 and 2020, and even after someone reached out to educate her about why the term was harmful in 2024, she'd responded dismissively.
If you want more drama like this, hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next, because this is where things get messy. The backlash was immediate and intense. Fans created petitions demanding her removal. She lost hundreds of thousands of followers overnight. The show had no choice but to remove her, especially after they'd already quietly eliminated another contestant named Ulissa earlier in the season for similar issues. But here's where the conspiracy theories started flying. Some fans accused Nicolandria shippers of using the controversy as a convenient way to remove the obstacle between Nick and Olandria. Were people genuinely upset about the offensive posts, or did they just want Cierra gone so their favorite ship could sail? The answer is probably both, which makes this entire situation even messier.
Cierra's family released a statement saying they were receiving threats, that ICE had been called on them, and that they no longer felt safe in their own home. The hate had gone way too far. When Cierra finally returned to the States and addressed everything, she took accountability but also revealed how traumatic the experience had been for her family. She admitted she genuinely didn't know the term was offensive until 2024 when a follower educated her, and she'd immediately deleted the post and tried to grow from it. She agreed with the network's decision to remove her, but the punishment extended far beyond just losing her spot on the show. Meanwhile, in the villa, nobody knew why Cierra had left. Remember, the contestants don't have access to phones or the outside world. They were told it was a personal situation, and that's it. Nick was left officially single with 1 week until the finale. And guess who else was single after Taylor chose to recouple with Casa Amore bombshell Clark? Olandria.
For Nicolandria fans, this was the moment they'd been manifesting since episode 1. The universe, or more accurately, production and public pressure, had aligned to give them exactly what they wanted. Nick and Olandria coupled up for real this time, with just days left before the finale. They shared a bed, kissed outside of challenges, and were absolutely adorable during the fake baby challenge. But with only a week to build a romantic connection after spending weeks as friends, was it genuine, or were they just playing the game? During family day, they got their answer. Nick's mom and sister came to visit, and they were full-blown ambassadors of Nicolandria Nation. They told Nick and Olandria that America had been rooting for them since day one. The couple finally understood the magnitude of their fan support, and it was overwhelming. On their final date, they were dropped off on a deserted beach to pick up messages and bottles from loved ones. The messages all said the same thing. We saw this coming before you did.
The finale came, and Nick and Olandria placed second, right behind winners Amaya and Brian. But to their fans, they were first place in their hearts. The question everyone immediately started asking was simple. Are they actually together? Or was this just a strategic move to secure their spots in the finale? Here's where things get complicated. At the reunion, which was filmed about a month after the finale, both Nick and Olandria admitted the pressure from fans was intense. Nick said he'd seen comments like, "She better come pregnant and married to the reunion," which is absolutely unhinged but also kinda hilarious. They made it clear they weren't rushing to label their relationship just because the internet demanded it. They were taking trips together, planning future dates, and genuinely getting to know each other outside the pressures of the villa. But they weren't officially boyfriend and girlfriend.
Some people started questioning whether the relationship was real or performative. Others brought up the circumstances of how they got together, specifically Cierra's removal. Cierra herself eventually spoke out, saying watching Nick and Olandria's connection form after she left was painful. She'd come out thinking they were in an amazing place, ready to be official, only to watch him move on while she dealt with a controversy that turned her life upside down. She admitted it hurt, especially when neither Nick nor Olandria reached out to her. But she also said two things can exist at once. She can mourn her relationship and be happy for two people she cares about.
The most recent drama happened just days ago when photos surfaced of Olandria holding hands with a model named Asa London Williams in New York City. Dumois posted the pics and fans immediately panicked. Did Nicolandria break up? Was it all fake? But then people started noticing details. There was an Alexander Wang shopping bag in the photos. Olandria had attended the Alexander Wang fashion show with Nick back in September. This wasn't a breakup, this was a campaign shoot. Fans theorized Olandria was modeling for Alexander Wang, and the PDA with Asher was just part of the marketing. The theory was basically confirmed when Olandria and Nick showed up together at a gala the next day. Olandria commented, "Handsome face," with heart eyes emojis on Nick's Instagram post. And Nick, he stirred the pot by commenting, "Asher real quiet since this dropped," on his own post. Olandria replied, "Just messy," and fans absolutely love the drama. They're out here playing 4D chess with the rumor mill.
So where does this leave us? Are Nick and Olandria actually together? The answer seems to be yes, but not in the traditional sense that people expect. They're building something real, taking their time, and refusing to rush into labels just because millions of people are watching. Nick recently ran the New York City Marathon, and Olandria flew in to support him at the finish line. They've been to Greece together, Disneyland, multiple red carpet events, and Olandria keeps gushing about how Nick makes her feel seen and supported in ways she's never experienced before. On a podcast appearance, Olandria revealed Nick has been incredibly intentional. He took her to Europe for the first time as part of his campaign trip. He listens to what she wants and acts on it immediately. He's been checking things off her bucket list left and right. She said no man in her 27 years has ever shown her this much consistency. That's not performative, that's real. But the scrutiny is also real. People dissect everything they post. Some fans create elaborate timelines to prove they're together. Others create equally elaborate theories to prove it's fake. There are concerns about fetishization and whether their connection can survive outside the bubble of reality TV fame. Olandria herself has addressed these fears, admitting she's always been scared to date outside her community because of questions about whether she's valued as a person or just seen as a fetish. With Nick, she says she feels genuinely valued.
The Nicolandria story is messy, complicated, and absolutely fascinating.
It's a modern reality TV romance that had to navigate fan pressure, controversy, removal of other contestants, questions of authenticity, and the challenge of building something real in an incredibly public way. They kissed on day one. They spent weeks apart pursuing other people. They reunited through elimination and a producer twist. They chose friendship over romance the first time, they got a second chance under controversial circumstances, and now they're out here living their best lives while everyone debates whether it's real or not. The truth? Only Nick and Olandria know for sure. But if you're going to bet on any Love Island couple making it, maybe bet on the one that took their time, faced intense scrutiny, and still chose each other when it mattered most. Or maybe it's all an elaborate performance. Either way, we're all watching, and that's exactly what makes this story so captivating. Before you go, make sure you're subscribed, because reality TV drama waits for no one. And honestly, with the way Nicolandria kept us guessing, you're gonna want notifications turned on for when the next chapter drops. Hit that like button if you're Team Nicolandria, or drop a comment if you think this whole thing is suspicious. Either way, I'll see you in the next one.